Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here. This content is why you have to heal all your issues with your exes before you can get to your twin soul. And the reason I wanted to make this is because I see this a lot in forums, this idea that, this person was toxic, so I left them and I cut them off and so on. And, there's a lot of belief around the twin soul journey that if you can just get to the right person, that everything will be fine and that you will live happily ever after. And while it's not completely false, but it's also not completely true, because you have to do your inner work. If you have attracted a certain ex, it's because there's that pattern within you. So you have to look at yourself quite a bit on this journey in order to truly move through the challenges and upsets that you're facing. So when you have an ex that you ended things poorly with, let's say, you're gonna have to go back and heal that. And I found this out the hard way on my own journey, and I've talked about this before. It's basically that if you left an ex without fully loving that situation and every lesson that ex was trying to teach you, then you're not going to be in full union with your twin soul. I've been having to do this for the last couple of years, really, is to go back to my exes and work through the issues that I was having with them. So the first ex, I pretty much just left, and it wasn't really my fault, because he wasn't willing to go there. He wasn't willing to go deep. He wasn't willing to have the conversations. He wasn't willing to fix our relationship. He wanted to stay very surface, and he wanted to keep everything really comfortable. And that, of course, caused problems in our relationship to begin with, but then it also made our breakup pointless. There was never a breakup conversation. It was just over. And I knew it was going to be. I knew I was never going to get closure at the time. So I was like, why even bother having a conversation with this person about this? Because I know I'm not gonna get what I want from it. And then for years and years, I was I had all these things I just still wanted to say, but I was there's no point, because I'm never going to get the closure that I need from this person, because he just doesn't go there. So I did eventually write a letter. It was a letter I'd been writing for years. And I did send it to him, which I probably shouldn't have, but it was I got to the place where it was nice enough. It wasn't an angry letter. It was just an explanation of things that had been on my mind, or just kind of my take on everything. So I did eventually do that, and it was really, really helpful. It was really healing. And I had written letters before, shortly after we broke up. I wrote not a super long letter, but I don't know, 3 to 5 pages, which probably to most people sounds like a long letter, but it's not. I'm definitely a very wordy person, so it was not that long of a letter. And that one, instead of sending it, I burned it, because that was kind of the suggestion, and I was there's just no point in talking to him. And it was probably an angrier one. I actually don't remember anything about that letter. I don't remember what I said in it. But it was just, I did it in order to release that situation, But then like over the years, you know, I've still just not had the closure on that relationship. So I wrote another letter, and you know, pretty much everything as expected. Nothing has really changed between us, in the sense that he's still not really willing to go there. But this time, I would say, like, now I don't take it personally, because it's like I don't have, I mean, we're like friends, but it's not like I don't have a close relationship with him anymore. So it's like, well, he doesn't really have a reason to talk to me about this. So I was able to write that letter from a place of like, I know I'm not going to hear back on this, but it's like, at least I like said my piece. So there was that situation. And then there was my ex-husband. And with that situation, I have not talked to my ex-husband. But like a lot of our issues, I actually have healed with my husband, who I started dating after my divorce. So those things got healed, instead of getting healed through, you know, just myself like working through them. Those things got healed through contrast, which contrast is, you know, attracting that experience into your reality. So I still had issues with my ex-husband as well, but a lot of it I healed with my husband now, because I kind of like attracted that situation again. So, you know, the gist of this is that all of your exes, so everybody that you've ever dated that was serious, you don't have to heal with like just some random person that you went on a date with. And you might want to heal something with them if there was like an upset that really hurt, you know, that you have emotion around, but you don't need to like use them as a mirror. But any of your serious exes, you pretty much want to treat them as if they were a twin flame at some point. And the reason is because every ex that you've had is a manifestation of your union's masculine or feminine energy, like one of the two. So like, because I'm the feminine, every ex that I've had is a manifestation of my union's masculine energy. And you can break up with the person, but you have to accept that God put them in your life for a reason. And so you have to learn the lesson with them and release that lesson with them, through learning it and with love. So if you don't do that, that your higher power is either going to keep bringing that same person into your life, to force you to learn that lesson. So that's kind of what happened with the first ex. And God will, you know, God or your higher power, whichever, you know, the universe, whoever, whatever you want to call it. When I say God, I mean the universe, source, spirit, your creator, your higher power, whatever you want to call it. So with the first ex, definitely your higher power will continue. This is where I experienced, you know, that person will keep coming up in your reality, until you heal with them, or that person you will attract the same issues in your next relationship, including if your next relationship is with your twin soul. So you have to fully learn the lesson in order to release that person and release that pattern from your reality. You're also, a lot of people hate or villainize their exes. I know I did. It's like not really the first one, but my ex-husband, I really hated him and really villainized him to like, well, mostly to myself, but also to, you know, everybody who's like in my inner circle. Like I told them like how much I hated him and like whatever, all these things he did that were controlling and abusive in many ways. And so I had really villainized him. I even believed for a very long time that he was a sociopath. Like, I was legit believing, and I had done like all this research, and I was like, he matches the sociopath completely. So I kind of, in my own mind, I had painted him as like a sociopath, a narcissist, an abuser. And none of that got me my twin soul, not surprisingly. So yeah, you cannot get your twin soul by hating or villainizing your exes, because when you do that, what you're really doing is denying a part of yourself, which is the pattern that matched you to that person and matched you to that experience. So by villainizing my ex-husband, I was able to ignore the pattern that was within myself that had attracted that specific brand of abuse that he had and specific brand of control. And when I look at control issues, I realize that I am the match to that pattern, because and the reason I attract so many control issues is because I don't want to upset anyone. I want to be nice. Like, I have all these like patriarchal patterns within me about like, you know, I don't want to like say anything that like upsets people. And I don't want to offend people. You know, it's like this whole like good girl pattern that I've had all my life. I think because I was raised in like a really religious family, and both my parents were in the military. So it's like the two most patriarchal structures that exist in the world are military and religion. And like these are structures where the whole point of the structure is really to control large populations. And I don't say that to be a knock against the religion or military. I just say it because it's true. Like that was historically the goal of like either a religion or a military. And so in my family and how I was raised, both of my parents were in the military, and they're also both devout Catholics. So like we were like really into religion. And so I had both of these like super patriarchal structures in my life from a young age. So I had kind of manifested that as a child, and then as an adult, I still struggle through a lot of those control issues. So, I feel like I've gotten way off track, but the point is that, okay, this all matches up with my notes, thankfully. All right, so you have to see your own role, which is usually subconscious, in the situation, because if not, the pattern is going to play out in your next relationship with your twin soul, or that person's going to come back into your reality and continue to trigger you. And the reason that happens, if it's like this other person that keeps coming back to trigger you, it's because it can't play out with your twin soul. So your higher power is going to keep the really toxic patterns away from you and your twin soul, because they want to protect the connection. So long story short, you can't get to your twin soul by hating or villainizing your exes. You have to do the inner work and fully release those exes with love. And so I'm working on the first ex, and then like my ex-husband, I pretty much have released him with love, in the sense that like, even though I don't wish to like talk to him anymore, we're not in contact. As my divorce lawyer said, we are estranged, which was like the weirdest thing. When I heard it, I was like, I have an estranged ex-husband. But yeah, well, I guess we are estranged. So we're not friends. We don't talk. We're not in contact. Haven't talked to him in a long time. So it's not that you have to like continue or allow that person in your reality anymore. But he is released with love in the sense that, like, I'm happy he's remarried. I'm happy he had a baby. I'm happy he has a good job. Like, I'm happy for him as long as he doesn't, like, enter my reality anymore. Like, as long as he's happy over there, he and I are good. So that is how I released him. And before, it was very much like, I wouldn't be sad if he died. Like, it was like this very different, like, energy of, like, true hatred and villainization. And then with the earlier ex, I'm still releasing stuff around that. But I'll get there with him too. So you have to see the humanity and union of those exes in the sense that, so the bonds can be broken, but you have to see them as human in the sense that you have to see their divinity. You have to see God within them. And then you also have to see the union of them in the sense that you are not separate from them still, even though the physical bonds are broken, or, like, even though you don't talk to them in the physical, you are still in union with them at the highest levels. So you have to see that like, that their happiness actually creates happiness for you, or, like, makes the path to happiness easier for you, for example, or them falling in love with someone else makes it easier for you to fall in love with someone else. Not because it's over between you guys, but because the whole of humanity is one. So you have to find the oneness of the situation. Another part of that oneness is the gratitude for them being in your life and for them to reveal all the patterns within you that you healed through them. So with my ex-husband, it's like, I healed a lot with him. And the reason that my relationship now is in a good place is because I healed a bunch of stuff with my ex-husband. And so I have to find the gratitude for that. So that is why you have to heal all your issues with your exes, your main exes, before you can get to your twin soul. And to wrap this up, I just want to remind you that, the energy of the masculine, basically, you have both the masculine and feminine within you. And the energies of your union, the two different energies of your union, are both within you. So your masculine, the masculine side of your union, first of all, it's within you. And when you meet or see your twin soul, whatever state that energy is in, is going to be reflected on the outside of you within your twin soul. But it's also going to be reflected on the outside of you in any past relationship. So, when I was with my ex-husband, that masculine energy inside of me is what attracted my ex-husband on the outside, and attracted all of our patterns, because, like, it's just basic law of attraction principle. So how you feel inside is projected onto the outside. So like, every ex that I've had is a projection of my own inner masculine, which is the energy of my union. So in order to get that energy realigned to what I want, I have to release all the ways in which it wasn't. And in order to shift that masculine energy from distorted to divine, I have to release all those distorted patterns, and I can see them more easily by looking at my exes. So I could just do the inner work by myself, and that would probably create compassion for those exes. But I can also look at those exes and essentially treat them as a twin flame and mirror, like, everything they brought up for me. And then that helps me shift from distorted to divine more easily. So I hope this content was helpful to you. Thank you so much for giving me your time and attention on it. I wanted to do a quick update on my book, Your Twin Soul Journey. It's going to be a series, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of smaller books, and each book is going to dive deep into one really specific twin soul topic. So there's one in particular that is on how you come into inner union. So how do you balance your masculine and feminine within your union so that you can see that masculine projected into the outside on your twin soul, and then how you shift from distorted masculine to divine masculine, from distorted feminine to divine feminine. So that's going to be one of the books that's coming out. And the great thing about, because like when I was trying to write your twin soul journey, it was just way too much content. It was going to be like 100,000 words, which is like 400 pages long. It was just going to be too much. So breaking it up into smaller pieces is going to allow people to not get overwhelmed. So that's one. And then allow people to only go into the book that they need at that time. And it's also going to allow me to just get the books out faster. So super excited about that. And I will have those up on pre-order soon. So thank you so much for giving me your time and attention. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.